This week's hot topic is about the recent Grammy snubs where, for example, Vinnie Paul didn't even get shown in the memorial reel and things like that as well. And it's also to do with the fact that none of the rock and metal awards are televised anymore, and that has been happening for a while now, actually. It's just generally, I think the same thing applies to even the Arias and stuff. We always get so caught up in the Grammys and the Arias and stuff, and it's just our basic response, I think, platform for us to say what we want to say about it.
Have a bitch about it?
Yeah, go on.
I stopped watching them when I was 10 years old, I think.
Yeah, well...
It became too mainstream. It wasn't music I was interested in. It just doesn't make any sense. You got hundreds of bands the world over filling stadiums. Rock and roll is still very much alive. I don't understand why it doesn't get the recognition that it deserves, but it doesn't really need it. Fuck the mainstream. Everyone's doing a decent living as they are, so... It's an award show, it doesn't really mean shit. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame can't even get it right. You can't
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's interesting is I didn't watch the Grammys this year. I haven't watched the Grammys in a long time. But they opened the show this year with a rock band. They opened the show with the Red Hot Chili Peppers playing with special guest Post Malone.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, didn't know that.
I only knew this because I could hear somebody else watching it.
Well, that's okay. I've got our work experience. Aiden over here saying that yes, he's right.
He's right. Yeah. The interesting part of it, full disclosure, I actually don't mind the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I also, strangely enough, don't mind Post Malone.
Get out.
But oh man, I'm falling apart now.
I'm gonna bottle you.
Australia's the only place where bottles are verb.
Okay.
But the interesting part is that even when they do have the rock band, they do have to have some kind of
crossover appeal.
Yeah, crossover appeal. It's as if these guys think that nobody can listen to rock music anymore, which is, it's kind of sad that they think that, but unfortunately for them, it's not true. As Dave said, there's plenty of rock bands out there doing quite fine.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's all driven about ratings, and when rock has been shelved pretty much, well, we can talk about Australia, really, but there's probably other countries that are not playing it as half as much, or not nearly as much as they used to, maybe.
Everywhere. I don't think it's just an Australian problem. I think
Kids have never actually heard rock music. Yeah. Kids in their mid-teens have never heard it.
Yep.
It's kind of crazy, isn't it? You're disgusted. I'm disgusted. But it's driven by ratings, whoever's popular at that time. And unfortunately for me, I stopped watching these bullshit shows when Jethro Tull beat Metallica, you gotta be fucking joking.
Poor Alice Cooper, though. People thought he was doing a joke.
Yeah.
You're fucking kidding.
They're probably still asking that. Was that a joke? No, it wasn't a joke, man. It's
he's the original Steve Harvey.
That's when you knew there was some problems.
Yeah.
Or it was on the decline from that point going forward. But we've got the rock gods, the metal globe. There's all these other different things. Yes, they don't get the exposure as
Loudwire awards.
All there's these magazine awards and stuff like that. And I think the hardcore rock metal fans are looking more to that anyway than they are a Grammy or an Arias, and stuff like that. Do I agree that a caliber of a Vinnie Paul shouldn't be mentioned? No, I don't. Because
that's wrong.
He was an elite musician.
Yeah.
And
influential too. Extremely
influential. That band, Pantera, even Damage Plan, even Hell Yeah, still had massive draw card and sold quite a few albums right next to Pantera, if you ask me. Yeah. That's blatant disrespect. It doesn't matter if he was a metal drummer.
No,
the fact that he got to that elite level that we've all tried to aspire to at some point in time.
Well, he was Grammy nominated, which makes it even more bizarre.
Well, yeah, but like Dave said, when the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame
can't even get it right there,
are fucking jokes. Should we really be surprised?
No,
we shouldn't be
for a while now.
I like I said, I don't remember the last time genuine rock bands were a part of the Grammys. Like I don't.
Not
Chili Peppers are still a commercial-based type, and that's why they got the gig. But I can't remember, delving into it back since '91. that anybody of any kind of relevance in the so it doesn't surprise me, and it's like I said, it's just geared towards ratings and who's hot right now. So the person who puts the radio on, they go, I know her song or his song. Yeah, it has nothing to do with them even liking music, you know. Products. So it's all bullshit.
Even the awards themselves are essentially thank you for making X amount of people money.
Yeah,
it's a huge wank.
Yeah. Well, when it starts off with who's wearing what on the red carpet, I think at that point in time we can all kind of switch off. Like that, what has that got to do with artistic merit anyway?
But again, if you want to push it, a year prior, wasn't Lady Gaga fronting with Metallica?
Yeah.
So they're not helping it. You know what I mean? Like, bands aren't helping it. Whether Kiss are doing Dancing with the Stars or Metallica's doing this.
No, that's true.
They're not helping flying the flag. They're actually conforming to it, which doesn't fucking really work.
At the same, like, to play devil's advocate a little bit on that one, I think that there's such a starvation for any sort of mainstream exposure for those bands that if you get an opportunity, you might take it. I'm not saying you should, but I can understand why. For example, when Disturbed came on tour here, the only show they could get on was Sunrise or something like that. I forget what it was. And they had to do Sound of Silence because that was the only song that was suitable for the format. And everyone's going, why you want... Oh, no, they did the X Factor or something like that. They did one of those shows. And everyone's bagging them for it. And I was just like, but where else are they going to get mainstream television exposure in this country? There was nowhere else for them to do that.
60 Minutes, maybe?
They haven't done enough wrong things yet to get that. You know, you got to go run people down on Burke Street to get that. But
they got to be the nasty neighbour that stole a shopping trolley.
Or a doll bludger.
Yeah,
that sort of stuff.
Yeah, no, it's disappointing.
I think that apparently the estate or whatever needs to pay for someone to be on that video roll thing, which I think that's a complete rip-off. It's not like you don't make any money, the advertising the TV network. I think they can spring for a 5-second slide shot on a fucking in memoriam thing. That's a joke. But for all of this, I think that for one, peer review thought stuff is like people talk about us doing, you know, awards and whatever else, and I don't ever want to do awards. I don't view art as competition anyway. I think that's a pointless. I think we need to stop equating art to sport. Sport, I understand competition. There's a definitive winner in that. There's a scoring system. It's got rules and regulations. Art doesn't abide by that. So let's not make art competition to start with. Awards are nice and all that sort of stuff. It's nice to get recognition, but I think that the way we do things and the reason why we do the top 10, and it's an individual process as opposed to a collective. We don't sit down together and go, this is the Hard Rock Show's top 10. This is our individual top 10s within, from what we found out.
They're quite diverse lists when you get to the end of it. Yeah,
like you go through all our top 10s. They're all diverse. They're all interesting, and they're all different to each other. There's only very few years that we all cross over universally on a theme, and this is one of the reasons.
And there'll always be years where people will trash albums that people love.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's all subjective.
That's the thing with art in general. Any form of art, literature, painting,
there's no right and wrong.
That's it. So. And so to have this weight attached to things like the Grammys and the Arias and stuff, I think we just need to get past it. It's all just another machine or mechanism in the machine for, you know, advertising and making money for people that actually aren't creating art anyway. So I think, the snub for Vinnie Paul at the Grammys is a big disrespect. I think that, and it's even worse because he wasn't Grammy nominated. It's just how do you do that? But I think at the same time, the furor that is kicked up around it, it's not going to change anything. So why don't we just move on and just celebrate it amongst ourselves anyway? Because
but there's no backlash to it anyway. Who's kicked up a fuss?
Oh, if you have, like,
but it lasted 48 hours.
Yeah, exactly. It was a social media thing.
If say MJ died, well, when he did die, and then they didn't do some kind of tribute the following year, that would have been mass hysteria. Yeah, you know, it's rock people are just too lazy to really get behind it. Also, you know?
It's also more for.
And we've accepted that we're not a part of that.
But we haven't.
I think that's
we have because we're not watching the show.
Exactly.
We have accepted it that it's not. No one cares.
Yeah, I think for a lot of us, it's like it's kind of like, well, okay, well, that's their thing. We just do our thing. Because, like I said, none of us have watched it in God knows how long.
I don't know the last time I watched it, to be honest. I've lost count of the years.
Yeah,
like it doesn't matter, but I just find it funny that every year something happens and everyone gets. There's always news articles about how it wasn't on the TV, it wasn't on this, and it's not never televised and stuff. Who gives a shit anymore?
Yeah.
Do any of us actually care anymore?
Do they not show the Arias anymore on TV? Don't they?
I don't know if they show the rock and metal ones on the Arias.
I don't even
it's the
because
same
I know
format.
the Arias themselves were struggling to get TV.
Yeah.
So like I mean, if there's like it's not majority of people. Are
I just think that the
point.
awards in general, like Arias, Grammys, Oscars, the lot of them, I think they're all outdated.
Yeah.
I think the concept is outdated.
I think if you want to bring rock and metal back, you need to have the downloading awards and the streaming awards.
Yeah, well,
Because that's not going on buys music. So who downloaded the most albums?
Oh,
who got
man.
their album downloaded the most? Who got ripped off the most? And I bet you,
Don't do
you know,
that. Don't do that. Then
well, we've got a festival called Download. What the fuck is that?
Then YNW Melly becomes the greatest selling artist of all time.
No, greatest
God,
downloaded artist of all
The whole
time.
download thing would be flawed though, because you got click farming and all that shit.
Yeah.
It's fucking
So you can
stupid.
still buy it.
yeah,
Anyway.
it's all.
Yeah, but that's not any different to saying, hey,
But so
I'll pay JB Half-Eye to put
Yeah,
X
buy
amount.
the number one.
Yeah.
You can
all
buy
product
number
placement
one, which
and
in
shit.
turn
Yeah.
becomes another marketing tool. It's all marketing tools. Ultimately, if it's a Grammy award-winning artist, it becomes a marketing spiel. If it's an ARIA award-winning artist, it becomes a marketing spin. That's all it's for. It's about people glad-handing themselves, saying, yes, look at how much money we made this year, and look at how we can use this one little thing to make more money for us next year. That's all it's about. Rock, metal, music, art in general shouldn't be about those things. I think it's just time to just ditch the entire lot of them. And just have, subjective lists, like individual lists like we do. I'm okay with those. But any actual definitive award ceremony, don't attach any weight to it. It's actually a worthless entity. It's just making someone else money and not the people that actually need it money, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But I think we'll wrap that one up there.
Yep.
Let us know what you think out there. Over to you. Everyone ready to go?
Yep.
Dave's on the hard stuff.
Yep.
Hardcore.
Mr.
Mount
Franklin, in your mouth.
Hey, leave Frankie alone.
And you almost had the whole lot too, you dirty boy.
If I could fit that.
I don't want to know where you can fit
Yeah.
that, okay?
I've got a good grip.
At the base.
Oh, wow.
Unless you move it up. Whoops. Anyway.
Gripped for your pleasure.
Squeeze the life out.
Then this is, yeah, well, we're
Pours out like a mountain. So,
It's a natural spring.
all right.
Cool.
Well, that was toned down very well.
Yeah, well done, Dave.
Every priest needs
Fucking
one.
Andrew's fault. He started it. I went with it. He always goes with it.
Yeah, he doesn't need much encouraging.
Nah, not at all.
Just give him not even half a metre, just like him. Boom. Alright, ready?
Yep.